First of all, thank you very much for joining today and for being a partner of the Plan BNB network. Today, we wanted to have like a short update for our partners to be aware of what is going on and also what might be coming up next year in 2023. Some of you have shared or will share today events that they are planning next year, so it's good for the others to be available of what will be living in the network in the coming year, and we will show a bit of what has been living in the network this year. Let me try to... Okay, so just as a reminder, I have a little issue working only with one screen here. Okay, so the objective of our network is to create a plant biotechnology and breeding network to foster and contribute to the advancement of global scientific knowledge and unite international institutions' expertise. And if you look at the participants, you see how international we are, covering quite some continents, going from the US, Latin America, Europe, Africa, Asia. So we are covering quite a good part of the globe. Okay, so the three pillars of our network are based on education for strengthening scientific and technical capacity. We will show you today some of the activities that we were doing and that will come up in the next year. The other part is bringing people together, and this, unfortunately, because of COVID, has been difficult to have it live, which is essential, I believe, for research project development. But still, we managed to do quite some work there. The idea in this work cluster 2 is indeed to develop new projects with partners from the network. And then the third one is really service to society and how can we promote the benefits of the scientific findings and innovations for agriculture all over the planet. So maybe as a refresher, I want to present you our team. So you know that Plan BNB is initiated from the IPBO, which was founded by Mark van Montagu in 2000, and the current team of IPBO, who is coordinating this network, is Godelieve Gijsse, professor at the Faculty of Bioengineering. And then the team really active within IPBO are Laura, Generos, Grace, and myself. So what we will start with, because I understood that Geert Hazard wanted to present a project that he's starting up this year, but he cannot stay until the moment that we will share others. So we propose to have him starting to present his project and an event that is coming up. Geert, are you with us?
Yes, I'm present. I hope that everyone can hear me. I'm sorry that I disturb a little bit the structure of the presentation. But yeah, what I like to present is a symposium that we will held in the framework of European project next year. And the European project called CROP DIVA. It's an abbreviation, of course, a climate resilient orphan crops for increased diversity in agriculture. And we will do that in a holistic and inclusive approach. So it means that we will look to crop husbandry, agroecological aspects, but also we will improve genetics in our crop system. The genetic pools we will increase. And very important is also we have also a socio-economic component in our project, so that we also can go to the market and create new value chains. Yeah, Mark, you can move to the other slide. So what I will present today is a symposium that we will organize next year in December in Ghent, from 19 to 22 of December. In, of course, the beautiful city of Ghent, we will do that. And the title of the international symposium will be Agrobiodiversity along the value chain. And what can be very interesting for our group is the first topic, because the first topic is about enhancing germplasm diversity in cropping systems. So there we look for resilience, abiotic stress, new genes, but also new genomic tools and breeding approaches we want to present during our symposium. The focus is on cereals and legumes, but of course, other crops and especially other orphan crops are welcome to present new issues, new findings during the symposium. Also, of course, we will look to cropping system for more agrodiversity, and are some colleagues interesting also in this topic. Of course, everyone is welcome to present new research results. Also, food products and food systems will be on the program, as well as new regional value chains and marketing strategies for enhancing diversity in food systems. So that's in a very short time what I want to say to our group. It's a kind of save the date for the moment, but more information will come online in the framework of our website of CropDiva, with all details about submitting abstracts, things like that. So from January on, you can find more information on the symposium.
Thank you, Geert, for sharing about this meeting and this interesting project. Well, I guess that Plant BNB can be a partner in this event, and we might still have to see in what form, but for sure, like it is a conference, through grant opportunities to attend the conference might be one of the possibilities. But once you have more news on your conference or a website, then we can maybe see how the Plant BNB network can participate or support this event.
Oh, sure, of course, we will send every information, and of course, I want that partners of Plant BNB participate to our event, of course.
And it will be all on site, right? Or will
it will be all on site. We were thinking also for organizing field trips, but in December it's not the right timing to go to the field. And the problem, it's always looking to other events, and we have beginning of September in mind, but then is the National Congress of the Legume Association is held in Spain. So that's the reason that we move to a later timing in the year, and we move to December.
Okay, thank you. With this, I think I will give the word to Laura.
Yes, thank you everyone for being with us today on this Plant BNB meeting, and thanks to Mark for giving me now the floor. I'm going to present briefly about the activities we've done over the last year on education on our work cluster 1 for strengthening scientific and technical capacity of our partners. We're giving you the highlights. We've done a bit more, but just wanted to present briefly some of the most important or more relevant activities we've done when it comes to capacity building. Next, please. As some of you may have heard from social media and also from our website, we started piloting this year in 2022, the Open Doors Fellowship Program. This is a program for postdoctoral female researchers from Africa to enter into a training and coaching period with us for 20 months. So this project started, as I've said, as a pilot this year. We had 3 amazing women, and we were using seed money from IPBO and the Mark and Nora Van Montagu Fund. And we are very glad to inform you that we submitted a proposal through the BLIR UOS, and we've been granted a grant, and we have become one of the international training programs of BLIR from 2023 to 2025. This is going to allow us to be able to host 16 more women from 2023 until the end of this period, 2025. And it basically connects women in Africa working basically in fields of agriculture, more on STEM. We are not yet on aspects of social science, but it's more on agriculture, plant health, chemical ecology, molecular biology, and so on and so forth. And these fellows are going to come to stay here in Ghent for a period of 3 months for a short research stay from next year. And then we will continue supporting these ladies through online courses once they are back, and hard and soft skills trainings that they will be able to access during 20 months. We would be very grateful if any of you has, connections in Africa that you consider would be that would benefit from this initiative. And we just would like to remind you that the deadline for the applications for the next cohort is on the 10th of January, and it's open for 2 different modalities. You can find more information on our website. Next, Mark, please. Thank you. This year, we also partnered again with Michigan State University, who is one of our members in the Plan BNB network. And as you may know, last year they launched this master's. This is an online course. No, not master's yet. It's an online course. They are trying to make it into a master's, but not yet. And it's a course that lasts 14 weeks from May to August. And it's provided by Professor Sholani at Michigan State University. And this year we have sponsored 12 international researchers that were both MSc and PhDs from our network. It was 3 women and 9 men from different institutions. And we have been sponsoring their registration fees at 600 euros. We are very glad to say that all the participants who took the course from our side were able to finalize it successfully. And so they got their certificates. And we hope that this collaboration will continue next year, and that the Plan BNB can support a few more participants from our partnering institutions. Next. Yes, we also had a very fruitful, I would say, and very special partnership, and you'll see it also from Rex Bernardo, who is with us today, with the Planned Breeding Institute from University of Minnesota. And in this case, what we did was to co-sponsor together with Professor Rex Bernardo scholarships for 3 participants from Sub-Saharan Africa to attend a 1-month short stay at the University of Minnesota during June, so they could access their summer institute in plant biotechnology and breeding. This was a competitive process. We opened applications, and participants, they launched their proposals to access a number of labs that they were opening also their doors for our participants. And through this competitive proposal, we ended up selecting 3 female candidates. There were also, in this case, there were also men and women. We had 3 postdoctoral females from 2 from IITA in West Africa and 1 from CIMMYT in East Africa. And we say it was very, all the participants were extremely happy. They learned a lot, and they really enjoyed being at the University of Minnesota. And they all tell us that they felt like this collaboration and this short research stay really opened new perspectives for them, and in terms of collaboration with our colleagues from the USA. So in this case, there was a co-sponsoring between University of Minnesota, the Plant Breeding Center, and ourselves to make sure that every single cost of the fellows was covered. And you can also find more information on the website. Maybe also Rex can add on that later on, but on the website of the Plan Building Center, when you can also have a few like their testimonies and interviews of our participants. Next. And we also supported the short research stage of a PhD student. He is Abdulaziz Banhoro. He's a PhD student working at the University Joseph Kizerbo under the supervision of Dr. Nana Razmata, who is with us today. And Abdulaziz was able to travel thanks to a grant from the Plan BNB to Kenya. And he stayed at CIMMYT with a senior scientist, Vijay Chaikam. And this scholarship has really helped him to start working on the obtention of 2 open pollinated varieties of maize and the production of double haploid lines. And this is part of his thesis. It was also co-funded by an organization of the diaspora in Burkina. And so far, his PhDs and his activities are going very well. And this was, if I'm not mistaken, a grant of 2,500 euros. And due to the success of the work of Abdulaziz, this work is continuing again this year. And we really hope that soon his PhD will be successfully completed. And another capacity building activity that we've done with our colleagues from the Alliance for Science was the Speaking Science course. There was a 2nd edition. This year we had 24 participants. We had 17 women and 7 men from 8 different countries of our affiliated members of the Plan BNB. We extended the course this time because we received some requests last year to make it a bit longer. So in this case, we had 3-hour sessions spread across 5 different weeks. So it was 3 hours per week over 5 weeks. And we also had a lot of asynchronous activities that were off screen on one-to-one coaching sessions with specialists on social media, on traditional journalism, also on how to conduct webinars and on storytelling. We are very glad to say that we have provided through the Plan BNB project 3 scholarships to train the 3 winners, the best selected candidates on storytelling. They're going to have a one-to-one training, and we will produce videos on their success stories. And we have also provided, together with the Alliance for Science, is a co-sponsored award, a travel bursary to one of our participants, also a lady from the University of Zambia, working on science diplomacy to attend a conference and support the science diplomacy activities together with the Alliance for Science. Next. And I think this is the last but not least activity that we've done this year to train our partners. In this case, we did a one-day workshop with the students of Ghent on the International Masters of Nematology on how to present with power, and in particular on how to present posters and do a 1-minute elevator speech. And in this case, it was about aspects related to plant breeding and biotechnology in the field of nematology. We trained 17 international students from different parts of the world who are Master 1 students in the Imanema group. And we had in this case 3 winners that received 3 books after the presentations. And it was also a co-sponsored activity where both Plan BNB and the Imanema Master contributed to the sponsoring of the event. And it was highly valued by all the students. So we intend to repeat this activity if possible in 2023. And I think this is it on my side. I'm going to give the floor now to Grace, who is going to be presenting on more of the activities that we intend to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura. Okay, so I will continue. We have the crash course in molecular biology, which is a project that is funded by the Plan BNB. This is going to be a 5-day in-person training at Moi University, the university that we settled with, and we're going to train lab technicians and master students. The basis of this project was already done in February 2022 at Moi University. It was dubbed the PanNEMA workshop. And then we're going to repeat this training next year in 2023, March, with at least 25 people. So the content of this training is to train the participants on bioinformatics, DNA extraction, PCR, and gel electrophoresis. Mark, thank you. And then this year we had a training on modern breeding techniques for maize, some of this year, and the participants came from different countries. We had 12 participants. And the content was plant biotechnology, regulatory aspects, and soft skill development. So within the soft skill development, they learned how to do proposal writing, they learned how to present with power, and also they learned how to communicate. So they also did the communication skills, which Laura talked about earlier. Mark? And then finally, we have the gene editing in EU action for science and policy. In this project, it was in partnership with the Alliance for Science, and there were 39 participants from the European Union. And there were two objectives to this. So there was the learning objectives, which was such as understanding the science behind gene editing technology relevant to policy and regulation. And also there was the soft skills bit of it, such as to learn how to craft key messages for an advocacy campaign. And that is it from my side.
Generous, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for giving me the floor. So I'm going to present on pillar 2 on research, just giving an overview of what was done in the course of this year, actually. And this is about developing a joint project with partners in Plant BNB. So one of the projects we developed and submitted in February this year, responding to the call from EU Horizon, was to respond to a call on agroecology, and we submitted a project which it has a title of legume-driven agroecological approaches for farming system in West Africa. So where the main objective was to transition the plantain, cassava, and the cereal-based rain-fed system of West Africa into agroecological oriented system, mainly targeting a specific trait and technologies and practices of legumes, and those also of the existing crops in the system that we were targeting to enhance synergistic effect towards sustainability and resilience. So we worked with the institute in Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Senegal. Unfortunately, this project was not successful, but it gave us also a foundation for further project which we will be developing in line with calls which will be coming up. Then next, Mark. So there is another project we are working on now. This is in response to a call from VRIR, and this is for a short initiative project. So it's the title currently, the running title, we are still working on it, is Capacity Building in Tissue Culture to Improve Resilience to Climate Change for Food Security. So we are working on this project with Kenyatta University in Kenya. And the main objective is to enhance the quality of tissue culture related courses and research, and the accessibility of farmers to clean planting materials from climate smart crops. And in this case, in the starting, we'll focus on banana by enabling access to adequate tissue culture laboratories and improving the delivery systems. So with this project is building on another project which ended in September. Which we had with Kenyatta University and NARO in Uganda and other groups. And this was about phenotyping the banana biodiversity to identify climate smart banana for optimal marketing potential in Africa and Europe. So during this project, there are some more candidate banana varieties, which was promising from in Kenya. And we want to develop a system for producing clean planting materials. But the tissue culture, we realize also that tissue culture is also like lacking when it comes to the teaching in Kenyatta, at Kenyatta University, whereby students are doing more of theoretical class, but then they don't have adequate access to advance the practical skills. So this will also support in this gap. So the budget is for this project is 70,000, and it is the duration will be for 2 years. So as I said, this is still in preparation, and the deadline for submission is 16 March, and we hope for a successful outcome. Mark, I think you need to move to the next. Yes. So this is now under the pillar number 3 on service to society. So for during this year, we have had organized a symposium, which is on the potential of genome editing for sustainable African agriculture, which was held the end of June, early July. It was a two days or 1.5 day symposium. So we had 90 participants from Africa, USA, EU, and China. And the main objective of this symposium was more to elaborate on how genome editing can play a transformative role in agriculture in Africa. And so we had a focus, or we had some progress on research in this field on the technology, and we had there was research topics. We had about on regulation and on the socio-economic aspects of genome editing. So participants from the plant B and B include, the speaker actually include people from IITA, VIB, Kenyatta University, Ghent University, ISA, and KU11. So they presented on all of those aspects that I said, the research, regulation, and socio-economic. I think that is all, Mark, from my end.
Okay, thank you very much, Jenny Rose, and also Grace and Laura for presenting our achievements. And then we pass a bit to the announcements, being from our side or from different partners here present today. So the first thing is we know that over the last 2 years, we were aimed to have a physical meeting, so that would facilitate more exchanges and probably work on developing projects together to have a stronger network. So we hope that in 2023 that will be possible, and we are thinking to do that in November 2023 next year. The final date still needs to be announced. And it will be located in Ghent, Belgium. And why do we do that in November is because we hope to link this with a mini symposium that we intend to organize in that same period, which will be at the moment of Professor Mark van Montagu turning 90 years. And it will be a good opportunity to link a symposium with our meetings, annual meetings, so that we can cover different aspects of collaboration, future collaboration, and seeing some nice science during this mini symposium. For this meeting, the cost will be covered by Plan BNB for one person per partner to join this event. Let me go to the next slide. Yes, and the GAP, so the Ghent Africa platform, which is an active platform within New Ghent, working on interactions with Africa and on all Africa-related aspects active at Ghent University. So they have an annual symposium. So Annelies Verdolagen is not present today because she had another meeting. So they have an annual symposium. And instead of having it in Ghent in 2023, they will have it on at the University of Western Cape in South Africa, in partnerships with the University of the Western Cape. And this the topic of this conference, will be more about knowledge production, research ethics, and authorship in African contexts. So some guiding ideas here are authorships, research ethics, knowledge production and circulation, also talking about decolonization of knowledge production, data sharing in a fair way, power relations in the academia, different modes of doing research, research cooperation, art and academia, and other aspects. From the moment that we will have much more information on this, or that there will be a link to it, we will provide this within the network. Another conference that will happen in Kenya is the biannual Africa Biennial Bioscience Communication Meeting organized by ISA, the Afri Center. Margaret Karembu also could not make it today because they are starting another project and they have their launching meeting this week. So this symposium will bring together stakeholders in the agri-food sector, including crop and animal breeders, agri-biotech researchers from all over the world, but also farmers, religious leaders, private sector, policymakers, communicators, and usually they then have workshops and lectures about how to communicate biosciences, and there is a high chance that this year, so in 2023, the focus will be around genome editing. Well, it's also timely that it will happen in Kenya this year, as the ban has been lifted for GMO cultivation, which has led already in quite some animo within the media and within the government. So it will be for sure an interesting meeting to attend in that year, and we will still see how Plan BNB will attend or make availability for partners to attend. Then I think Rex Bernardo from University of Minnesota is with us, right? Rex, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm pleased to talk about the Summer Institute in Plant Breeding that will be held in July 3 to 7 in Ghent, Belgium. So the Summer Institute, this is the third time that we are having it. It is sponsored primarily by the Plant Breeding Center here at Minnesota. The first one we had was during the pandemic in 2021. It was held online by Zoom entirely. And then this year, 2022, we had it in person in St. Paul. And then to capture different audiences, try to capture different audiences around the world, we decided to have it at Ghent University. And we are delighted, really delighted to have IPBO and EVIB and Ghent University as a partner. And you see here the format for the course. It is for continuing education. It's held over 1 week, and it consists of 6 modules, each module being 2.5 days. And so it's like a cafeteria style where you have your first entree from Monday to Wednesday, and you have to pick one. And then from Wednesday afternoon until Friday, you pick another. Participants can pick another course. And they range from the use of genome-wide markers in plant breeding to machine learning to CRISPR, into understudied plants, to plant phenotyping at different dimensions or different levels, from cells to organs to whole organisms, and then a data-intensive course on genomic prediction in plant breeding. We have sent out the registration information by email, and registration starts in January 3rd. And we're very pleased to see that Plant BNB will be sponsoring 8 participants, covering the transportation costs and registration fee for the course. So again, we're very excited to do this in partnership with Plant BNB, and we look forward to this event, and we look forward to having registrants from different places around the world. And so again, that's the reason why we're rotating the venue for this Summer Institute, which we plan to hold every year. Thank you, Mark.
Excuse me, Rex. Yes.
Is it for students or for scientists?
Great question. This is for graduate students, either the master's or the PhD level. It is open to academics, academic scientists. It is open to industry scientists. So again, it's open to anybody who would benefit from any of these courses. And so, for example, I know that many breeding companies, for example, might hire say a computer scientist who knows a lot about computers and data management, but might not know about genome-wide markers in plant breeding. So, you know, when I say that's why it's at all levels. It's not just one, one level of educational attainment. We're open to anyone who would benefit from attending these courses.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rex. Yeah, maybe it will be an idea to do it. If you're rotating location, you can maybe go to Liang's university in one of the future sessions. Would be very nice.
Right.
Probably.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, China.
Just send me the plane ticket.
Well, the traveling to
Yeah.
China might still be an issue next year, I suppose, but we'll discuss.
No. We are opening. We are removing all the restrictions for international traveling.
Okay, excellent. So I think anyway, Liang, I'm giving you the floor right now, because then the next 2 slides are for you, I think.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mark. I'd like to talk about 2 things. The first thing is a proposal for organizing the 3rd International Forum on Crop Science next year. So this forum, actually, we have it every 2 years. Last time, actually, Plant BNB is partner of this forum. And I remember she also presented in this forum. Okay. In 2019, we had this meeting on site, and we invited 17 international speakers from other countries, mostly from Europe and the USA, and we covered all the costs in 2019. In 2021, because of the COVID-19, it's not possible for international traveling. So in fact, we had a hybrid meeting, but the international speakers give the talk online through Zoom meeting. Okay. So I discussed with Professor Jianbin Yan. He is also the Vice Chancellor of our university. And we plan to have the 3rd meeting next year. And we really want to do this together with BNB partners. So I discussed with him. We hope we can advertise within the network, other institutions, and either the scientists can volunteer to give a talk, or we can invite the speakers from other partners. And we hope this meeting will be on site. Of course, we can discuss further. It can also be a hybrid meeting. So if people, international speakers want to come to China, we will also be able to provide, the support for airline and hotel and dining, like those. Okay, we will talk about this, discuss about this in detail. Okay. Do you have any thoughts about this meeting?
Yeah, do you have a potential date or month already where you would like to organize this meeting?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it should be in summer.
Okay.
It can be summer. We need to finalize a date. Most importantly, we also want to wait for our policy, because our government already, remove all the restrictions related to COVID-19 in China, and also for international travelers. So we will keep communicating with you. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be happy to see how we can, how we can use Plan BNB to amplify the message and to have like making your conference bit broader, let's say, to the international scientific community. We'll be happy to see how we can participate in that. So I give you the next slides.
Okay. Please click. I think there are a few more. Okay, thank you. This is advertising for, actually, this is a Europe journal on molecular breeding. It was established in 1995 I believe, should be in Netherlands. 3 years ago, Springer Nature invited Professor Qifa Zhang from Huazhong Agricultural University in China to be the editor-in-chief. And I am the managing editor of this journal too. So this journal has a long history, and of course, it is very much related to molecular breeding of plants and crops. It does not publish animal science. So, this journal, after 3 years, the impact is increasing, and we hope it will be further increased to be more popular and also serve the community, to better serve the community. Just in recent 2 months, the editor-in-chief, Professor Qifa Zhang, because after 3 years and these 2 months, we are recruiting new editors. Of course, some previous one, they decided to retire from the board. So we hope we can invite a few more scientists to join the editorial board as associate editor. Okay. So this is about the journal. Can I send an email to the partners about this, because I didn't give details about this. For example, how people could send their interest to tell us by email. Can I send an email? You send email to a lot of people, right? I can forward to you. You can help us send to the partner. I believe many people, they are doing very much related work to molecular breeding. Yeah, and we hope, some of them can join us. For example, a couple of scientists from Ghent and a couple of scientists from other countries.
Yeah, excellent. We can share the message that you want to convey or invite people from the Plan BNB network. We have excellent scientists. Some might be interested to join or to publish. I think already about we showed this short research stay on double haploid thing. I think there is some great science going on within the network in many places. So I'm sure there will be interest for this one. So, but after we will have a question and answer question. So if there are more questions, we can still keep them, but then we have to follow up on these 2 points that you presented today. We will follow up by email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then I think we should have Yemi from IITA. Are you with us?
Yes, please. I'm here. Thank you, Mark.
Welcome.
Yeah, and thank you to Plan BNB for the opportunity to give this presentation. We're actually trying to present to you our idea of mobile biotechnology through, and the reason for thinking of coming up with this project or this initiative is because we got several feedback from our participants and trainees, students, from several universities, institutions in Nigeria, and we felt that going through this mobile biotech laboratory could help us to solve some of the issues that they complained about. Please, next slide. So looking at the current situation globally, when it comes to problem of food insecurity, climate change, we all know that biotechnology is actually playing a very crucial role in helping to mitigate some of these issues. But it's unfortunate in most part of Africa, especially Nigeria, the expertise are lacking, the facilities are nowhere to be found in some of our schools. And this gap is actually there. So they know part of the theory when it comes to having hands-on and applications, they actually can't do much in that area. And through this project, we believe we'll be able to reach out to many people compared to when they're invited to come over to our organization for training. And comparing the cost, we actually did scenario analysis, cost-benefit analysis, comparing when they come to us and when we go to them, we discover the huge difference. It's actually very, very highly significant when we look at the cost implication. It's much more cheaper going to them than then coming to us, considering the cost of transportation, the accommodation, and some other logistic issues. So this actually is one of the issues they are facing and why they are unable to access this kind of opportunity. And we know that at the long run, by the time from this crash, we are building these kind of competencies. And these are the people we know that will continue to join the scientists in fighting against them problems that we are facing or that we may face in the future when it comes to problem of food insecurity and climate change. And in order to execute this project, that means we have to go to schools, we have to visit schools, high schools, and then universities. And we hope we made some schedules and plans to see how we can achieve training about 1,500 students within the period of 2 years for the project. Having in mind, at least we have 30 students for each of the training. And we also talked about sustaining this project beyond even, let's say, initial period of 2 years or 18 months, like introducing nominal fee, which can make us to maintain and sustain this project beyond the initial period of 2 years. And apart from that, now going by this or thinking of what we need to kickstart the project, the resources we need equipment, we need basic equipment, vehicle to be on the road. For the basic equipment, we try to get quotations and the costs. These are just the costs we came up with. And we're also open to donations if you have equipment or facilities maybe in your lab that are still good, modern, and functional that you may want to donate for the project also, I think this also will be welcome. And then we try to look at the logistics and the calculations of what it will cost, the materials, the consumables, etc. We've been able to also have estimated amount for the training for the period. And for the human resources, we actually have that one already within IETA. So we have expertise, we have people that are actually highly experienced that can help to start up these projects. So we might not really need to hire from the beginning of the project. And if there's no need, we may not hire. And if there's a need, I think maybe we can actually look into that. And we also welcome feedback or maybe comments on how we can actually make this project a reality, especially for Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yemi. So I do understand well that this is a project for Nigeria mainly, right? Only to be held in Nigeria.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, if there are other questions or comments, we will get very soon to a Q&A session so people can come back and ask questions. But in any case, if they can always come back to us to bring you in contact if they don't have your contact details yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. So yes, as mentioned earlier already, or as you've seen, there are different funding opportunities. We have noticed over the first 2 years of experience for the Plan BNB that it was like time consuming and not always very efficient to do this with calls. So this was for short research stays, like we had presented some, also attendance to international conferences and courses, or for the Science on the Road events that we called, or even for publications. So we decided to have this kind of calls kept open over the years. So basically it would be an ad hoc funding, but it would also be a first come, first serve basic, let's say, way of working. So that if the budget is then gone, well, then it will be finished for that year. Also, I see that there are many activities coming up within the network. So clearly, there will be a high preference for funds requested to attend one of the events organized by the partners of the network. So you can always have most of the information that you want us to share or that you want to get. You can find on our website, which is theplanbb.org, or follow us on Twitter, where we also try to post the most recent opportunities. And now I would like to open the floor to any questions, comments, of announcements. I think I saw in the chat that someone has a conference to announce. Maybe Shiv, do you want maybe to present something or to mention something about this conference?
Yes. So thank you, Mark. As you know that every 4th year we organize one international conference, on pulses, because we are working on a number of food legume crops like chickpea, lentil, grass pea, and fava bean. So keeping that in mind, this year next year in 2023 Feb, we are organizing a conference for 3 days in New Delhi, India, where we are going to have participants from US, Canada, Europe as well, and of course India. I'm still looking for some representation from African countries, though I supported 2 candidates from my project, but still I wish that few more people from maybe Ethiopia and from Kenya, if they can attend, then it will give a international flavor. So it is going to be held on the World Pulse Day. Every year they celebrate on 10th Feb. So it will be inaugurated on 10th Feb, and it will be for 3 days. So that's what I would like to add.
Thank you very much, Chief. Well, please send us an email. We can also share the conference within the Plan BNB network so that everybody is aware of this upcoming event.